Did you know that today is National Crouton Day? What we're doing today is celebrating National Crouton Day. Well, we can have some fun. I mean, everybody eats croutons. They eat croutons on Caesar salads. You see croutons on top of soups. Croutons are a great thing. They're underrated. You can use up so much stuff. 2-day-old bread, 3-day-old bread. You're wondering, geez, getting a little dried out. You make croutons. If you didn't already get the idea we're making croutons, we're making croutons today. Okay? But we said, well, why don't we make a big crouton? So we'll start things off, and this is a cheese bread actually, so you can make croutons with just about any kind of bread. So we're going to start off with a large crouton. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take a bowl. Okay, in that bowl, put a little bit of, I'll just use some canola oil for this one. A little canola. You just want to toss around because the oil will help transfer the heat and help it brown a little bit around the edges. You want to season it up some too, because these are like a chip almost. So put a little bit of seasoning on it. Let's put a little bit of herbs. This is just a little mixture of dried thyme, basil, oregano. Toss it around, get a good coating on it. Okay, it's like a dice or something in there. And we're just going to go to the stove. A little low heat. I'm going to let this kind of percolate a little bit. So I don't really need to put any oil in the pan. It's always nice to use a non-stick pan so you don't run the risk of burning it too badly if you burn it. Okay, trusty tongs. I'm just going to sit it there and let it start to kind of brown around. Eventually I'm going to throw it in the oven so it'll kind of crisp in from the outside in, but ultimately I want to have it just a little soft on the inside so it's not just totally crunchy all the way through. So now, what can you actually make croutons with at home? I'm sure you have lots of things around the house because today is National Crouton Day. We're not going to make good old little regular croutons, but we're going to use things that maybe you didn't think about before. An English muffin, okay? You eat them in the morning, toasted, get some crispy. You really like those. So I said, well, we could do something that's just a little different. Cut them through. And by the way, when you're cutting bread, especially croutons, I use, this is a serrated knife. They call it a serrated knife. It's got these little teeth on them. Also, when I learned how to cook, we also call them a saw knife because you kind of use it like you would use a saw. And that's the thing too. I see quite often young people, they're cutting, but they're basically pressing hard and kind of just jerking back and forth. And it kind of rips things versus slice through things. So this good thing to do is just nice long strokes like you would with a saw, and you're sawing through things, okay? I'm just gonna cut them in some big pieces, okay? Nobody says that a crouton has to be small. It can be large, just like the one we've got going on this pan over here. Do a little check in on that. See, starting to pick up a little color on this side here. Just leave them back on there. Let's throw these in here. We'll just do a couple. So on this one, we're going to put some olive oil. Olive oil imparts a nice flavor. Also gives a nice color, too. We'll give a little richer brown color. Let's toss those around just so we get some oil all around the outsides. Okay, same thing. We'll season it. Salt, pepper, of herbs, using in cooking all the time. And now, because this is an English muffin, you can absorb butter. If you ever toast them, you put butter on it, it sucks right in. So we're going to put a little bit of balsamic vinegar, okay? So that this will absorb in, and when you cook it, you get a nice flavor of balsamic when they're done. Okay, toss that all around. We'll spread them out in a pan. We're going to put them in the oven. We're going to cook them for about 10 minutes one side, and we're going to turn them over for a little bit. And again, we want to get them so they're crispy on one side, a little crispy on the other side, and then a little soft in the middle. 350-degree oven. Again, you don't want too hot, or they might burn a little too quick. If they're in with a number of other things in the oven, that's okay too. There's no rules, okay? What if you have old hot dog buns or old sausage buns at home? You can do things with that as well. So just cut them through like so. You can do the classic, just go through and make squares, or like the English muffin, you can make sort of long, thin pieces. The bowl going here, it's already got a little oil and some herbs in it. Because if you're just going to eat these on top of a soup, as opposed to a cracker, people like to crack crackers into their soup. If you've got croutons at home, save yourself the money going out and buy crackers. You can just use croutons. Because today is National Crouton Day. Just in case you'd forgotten that since the last time I mentioned it. All right, so here we are. Toss, 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 herbs, herbs, herbs. Okay, it looks like it could use perhaps a little more moisture in there. All right, we're in business. So let's throw these out onto this little one here. Spread them out. These are going in the oven as well. Let's check our crouton. Oh my, let's see. Ooh, a little too much color on that one. That's all right. We're just gonna move it around, move it around. Again, we want to get a nice crispy cube. Don't let me burn it. Email the Pines. Chef Dale, turn over the crouton. Last year we interacted quite a bit with the squirrel population. Being at one with nature, we adopted Skippy now as our resort pet, you might say. So we just happen to have a Skippy squirrel cutter, see? So we usually make cookies for the kids' ice cream and sorbets, but said, hey, maybe we can make croutons in the shape of Skippy. Maybe if your kids come to the Pines this year, have a Caesar salad, they may get a Skippy crouton, just like so. See? You can use that same bowl. It's just oil, butter, salt, pepper. Press down hard right to the board. This one's going to look like. See, like that. Here we go. One more. Poke them out, and there's Skippy. So, just watch it. You don't break his tail off. Use some olive oil for Skippy this time. Salt, pepper, herbs. Just drag them through a little bit. Okay, flip them over. All right. There it is. Flip the crouton. Might be time to throw the crouton in the oven. Let's pull these things. These are the English muffin. Okay, let's flip it over. It's not getting quite crispy enough yet. Let's get Skippy in the oven. And of course, with all this bread scrap, after you cut Skippy out, you can always just cube this all up. Toss it in some oil, salt, pepper. If you like different flavors of oil, no problem. Here's what these little croutons are going to look like coming out of the oven. Okay, you can see where there's some balsamic on them. All right, and to taste them, well, I'll put these out. Try them. And they're good because the balsamic flavor comes out. I know here's the one you've all been waiting for. There's our little Skippy squirrel mascot crouton. Everybody's going to want these. Now this summer, you're like, I only want Skippy croutons on my Caesar salad. And Will in the kitchen will say, what? Not another one? So that's Skippy. And we'll take a whole case of baguettes, cube them up, toss them in a great big bowl, canola oil, salt, pepper, herbs, just like this. We put them in the oven and get them to their just right color, cool them. So you don't want to put them in here where they're warm. Don't put them into a confined space where they're layered, because then the heat of them will just turn them all soggy. Perhaps they might go moldy and things. So let them dry out really, really good, and then you can preserve them. Put them in a bag or put them in a container. These have a plastic seal on them, and they'll last for a long time, just like fresh. You'll know when they start to go stale because they lose their crisp. They just lose the perkiness, you know, that a crouton has. So now we're going to go check our world famous fellow. There. So, still a little soft in the middle, but nice and crispy there. I mean, that'd be a nice plop right in the middle of a big bowl of tomato soup. Cheesy bread, of course. To have it on a salad. You know, why not pick it up with your hands? Another thing I didn't mention was, if you have a long loaf of bread, cut it on a nice angle, make some almost like crostinis, which are in essence just like a crouton, but they're long fingers of bread, and just like a cracker. So this could easily just be eaten just like a cracker. So break it in half. Ooh, did you see the steam come out of that? You need one or two of these on a Caesar salad, so you're actually picking them up and eating these big chunks of crouton in your Caesar salad as opposed to a whole bunch of little ones all buried inside. If you have any questions about National Crouton Day, feel free to fire away, send me an email, dnichols@digbypines.ca. I can't wait until I start getting a flood of them in. I'll answer any question you might have about croutons. Don't forget to like, share, and comment below on the video. And then mark it on your calendar. Next year, National Crouton Day. All right? Take care. Good luck.